It's Friday, July 31st, 2026. It's about 9:45 in the morning, and let's take a look at how I've done with my basement finishing project so far. As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not assume that I know what I'm doing and that I've done things properly or that you should be taking advice from me. So we're coming down the steps here, and you can see I've got the 2x4 stud wall. There's other places where the insulation is not in place yet, so we can look at the other things I've done. But I put this rock wool at the top and the bottom. From what I understand, that's supposed to act as a fire break, and that would meet code. And that stuff is more expensive, so I don't want to just line the whole cavity with it. So then I've got other fiberglass insulation. The store doesn't stock unfaced insulation, so I'm having to peel the paper off before I put it in because I don't want a double vapor barrier. And I was not able to get a conclusive answer about, well, what if I just put the paper towards the rigid foam insulation, just kind of have it up against there. I'm not confident whether that's going to create an issue with moisture management or not. So I get to spend lots of time pulling the paper off the insulation. Here's the rigid foam insulation, which I believe you've seen in other videos. I'm gonna actually back up here a little bit. I took the light that was in the hallway here and I connected another light because this is going to be a hallway and I didn't want it to be dark, so I just extended that from the existing wiring. Got the junction box there, and I bought those purple connectors because this is aluminum wiring, so I had to use a proper connector to get the copper run in there. They've got these new types. Well, they're new to me. I don't know how long they've had them, but instead of having like the wire nuts that you twist, they've got these like little boxes that have screws in them that work pretty nicely. I've got the lighting redone in the storage area. I put 4 of these LED recessed can lights in there, and they're operating on a switch here. Ta-da! Turn the lights off and back on. I'm going to need to do a better job relocating this switch that used to be against the wall. That is the, I don't know what, it's not a single pole. I don't know what the other ones are called, where you've got the switch at either end that can work the light. So I'm going to have to probably switch out this wire here so that I can have enough length in it so that I can install this switch at the right height instead of right now that's just temporary. So here's the 2x4 stud wall to enclose the storage room. Here's the opening that the door is going to go in. Here's the door to what's going to be the other room. That's going to be like a rec room right now, but I am building a closet in there, and that gets us close to it being qualified as a bedroom. We'd need to have an egress window put in. So here's where I've got to do some more the insulation. I've got the lighting in place here. I've got 8 of these cans. There's the junction box I've got up there for doing all the work with connecting the various branches. Got the switch for these lights here. My son wanted a light inside the closet, so I got another junction box here so that I can do this stuff with the switch light in the closet. And I got this whole run of the receptacles that should be according to code so that no appliance would be any more than 6 feet away from a receptacle. So I got those running around the room, and I have taken some of this spray insulation to fill the holes where I drilled through the studs to run the cable. I put my cable lower than would be standard, which just means that I need to kneel down when I'm doing it, but also means it saves me about a foot for each bay that this is in here. So it saved me a pretty good number of feet over the room. I've got the post boxed in. This is kind of a, sort of looks like a Frankenstein monstrosity right now, though. I realized I could have actually done this a little bit different. If I would have done something with all this oriented strand board that I had, I could have made it a little bit more compact and neater, but that's the way that goes. I'll be putting drywall over that. And I did adjust the work I did here with the duct, because when I went to put a vent in here, I realized that I hadn't allowed enough space for the vent to be able to work the louvers in there. So I just pulled these couple of pieces out and made that a little bit wider so that it'll fit in there better. And I did buy some type of insulation for the ductwork. We'll see if I use that. I don't know here. Like, I can't even really get any insulation between that and this. So I hope I don't end up getting condensation along there. We don't use the air conditioning very often, but we have used it some this summer. It's been pretty brutally hot. And so I don't know if I'm gonna have a problem since I don't have insulation on there, but I'll make sure to get some insulation on other parts of this before I get that closed in. So I think that probably gets you about everything. Oh yeah, I did some work so that I can have an access panel that's going to sit, so I can remove it, give it a place that I can fasten an access panel. We'll do the drywall on the studs here, and I'll get an access panel that I can fasten here so I can remove it. And I got the crazy contraption up here. You'd think that this would be where I'd be accessing, but no, that was just a way that I could get the blocking in here because the obstruction with the copper pipe. So there's the shutoff valve that's there. So I want to be able to put an access panel. And another place that I'll be putting an access panel is here because there's the shutoff valve that's up there. And then a fourth place where I put some blocking in place so that I can get an access panel is over here for that shutoff valve. I had some tight turns I had to make with some of the framing, but I was able to fish the wire through these various tight spots here. So that went okay. And a couple more spots where I had to make some tight corners. Some of these were easier than others because I could actually access, like these two, I'm able to access the backside to get it through. So that's where I'm at right now. And today I hope to finish getting the rest of the insulation on the wall. And after that, it's going to be time to start with the drywall. And I'm using this Type X fire rated, and that stuff is heavy. So I'm not going to be trying to do that on my own. I'll have to see about my son helping me carry this stuff into the basement, and we'll get a piece of equipment that kind of holds it in place so we can get it on the ceilings. And then I don't know if we'll need it on the walls or not, but certainly for the ceilings, we're going to need that support. So I think that's about it. Hope you enjoyed seeing it.